Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into a story of incredible change happening at lightning speed in a California beach city. Over just the last 48 hours, Redondo Beach has seen the end of an era for some and the literal groundbreaking of a new future for others. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the number 32. Now, for a lot of people in the South Bay, 32 years isn't just a number. It's a legacy, it's a flavor, a community hub, and it's an institution that just announced it's closing its doors for good. And that really brings us to the first huge story from the last 2 days. Redondo Beach is saying some really tough goodbyes to businesses that have been woven into the very fabric of the community for, well, decades. And this timeline, wow, it really shows you just how deep these roots go. We're talking about businesses that have been around since the early 90s and the mid-2000s. You've got the Ragin Cajun Cafe, starting its journey way back in '92, and Combat Garage, which has been a local martial arts hub since 2005. Both of them now calling it a day. So let's break down who's leaving. Ragin Cajun, gone after 32 years. Combat Garage, after 21. And it's not just the local spots. Even a big national chain like Pete's Coffee is packing up its local shops. And the reason? It's that classic and really tough combination of soaring overhead costs and just different consumer habit. But here's the thing. This is not just a story about what's leaving. Because as these doors are closing, other, much bigger projects are literally breaking ground, reshaping the city's skyline and its whole future. And here's a perfect example. The Navisi Living Project. The city council just gave this a big thumbs up. It's a massive 4-story mixed-use building. And it's a prime example of developers using something called state-mandated density bonuses. So what does that even mean? Well, basically, these are state laws that let developers build bigger and taller than local rules might allow, but only if they include a certain number of affordable housing units. It's one of California's main tools for tackling the housing crisis. Okay, so let's look at the numbers here, because they really tell the story. We're talking 49 residential units in a 4-story building, but here's the key. 8 of those units are for very low-income families. That's the part that unlocks those density bonuses we were just talking about. And all of that is sitting on top of a huge 17,000 square foot commercial space on the ground floor. And this is where it all comes to a head, right? You've got this classic tug of war. On one side, the developer is saying, look, we need that big commercial space to make the finances work for the affordable housing. But on the other side, you've got residents throwing up red flags, worried about creating total gridlock at an intersection that's already a nightmare. It's the age-old development dilemma. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We're going to head down to the iconic Redondo Beach Pier because a totally different kind of story is playing out there. This one isn't about building something new from scratch. It's about bringing back something old. And you're not going to believe what's making a comeback. Just confirmed in the last day or so, the classic Southern California icon, hot dog on a stick, is returning to the pier. Now, it had closed down in late 2024, so its return tells you there's a very deliberate new strategy at play for this tourist hotspot. And this quote right here, it tells you everything you need to know about that strategy. City officials are actually calling it retro retail. The whole idea is to tap into the power of nostalgia, bringing back those familiar, beloved brands to boost the pier's economy and pull in both locals and tourists alike. Pretty smart. But this wave of new energy, it's not just happening at the pier. Oh no. If you move away from the water, the Redondo Beach Chamber of Commerce is talking about a huge influx of new and very specialized businesses that are setting up shop all over town. And this chart, this really paints a picture, doesn't it? Take a look at the breakdown. A whopping 40% of new businesses are in wellness and health. Another 30% are in high-end services. This shows a massive pivot away from the old-school general store. It looks like the space left by older businesses isn't being filled by more of the same, but by a totally different kind of company that caters to a very specific modern lifestyle. And just look at the kind of businesses we're talking about. You've got strength training studios, support centers for new moms, medical aesthetics clinics, even specialized home services for electric vehicle charging. The market is clearly shifting to wellness, high-end needs, and the realities of modern family life. And check this out, new businesses are having to get really creative to get noticed. You've got this new burger joint, Eat Fantastic, and they're not just selling burgers. No, they've put up a massive, can't-miss-it mural of local baseball heroes to pull people in. It's a really sharp marketing move in a super competitive area. Okay, so Let's take a step back and put all these pieces from the last 48 hours together. You've got the heartbreaking closures of legacy spots, you've got this huge new construction project, a retro revival on the pier, and this wave of super specialized new businesses. What on earth does it all mean for Redondo Beach? It all boils down to this one huge question, doesn't it? The city is caught in this incredible balancing act, trying to deal with the very real, sentimental loss of its beloved institutions, while at the same time jumping into these ambitious and sometimes really controversial new ventures. There's just no other way to say it. Redondo Beach is at a critical crossroads. All the economic pressures of being a modern city are pushing right up against its famous, laid-back beach heritage. And if the last 48 hours are any sign, the speed of that change is only picking up. Which leaves us with this final thought, and it's a deep one. As the old makes way for the new, what will the future soul of this beach city actually look like? You're not going to find the answer in a report. It's being written right now, on the streets, in the space between what is leaving and what is just right now beginning to arrive.